Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the FUNimation dub of episode 96 of Dragonball Super. We begin this episode at the Null Realm, where we see the divine beings of the top 4 mortal level universes, the Supreme Kais, the Destroyers, and the Angel Assistants of universes 1, 5, 8, and 12, in other words, arriving because they are going to be spectators for the Tournament of Power. The Destroyer, whose face sort of resembles a tiki head voiced by Orion Pitts, wonders out loud if the arena will be able to endure the entirety of the tournament, and the Grand Minister arrives, answering that he believes that will be the case. He also answers the questions about the Omni King's whereabouts by mentioning that they are in the waiting room, a small building in a floating sphere, having some snacks while they pass the time until the participating universes' teams arrive. The Grand Minister is then interested in returning to the topic of the arena's durability that was brought up by the Destroyer, whose face sort of resembles a tiki head, and he ends up calling that Destroyer by his name, which is Arak. So the Grand Minister explains to the present divine beings that the arena is made out of Ketchentite, a material that is even more durable than Universe 7's Ketchentite, and he also suggests a sparring match to test the arena's durability if there are still doubts. He also notes that the Omni Kings seem to be bored while they wait for the participating universes' teams to arrive. Universe 1's Destroyer, the Destroyer who looks like a furball, voiced by Josh Martin, likes the sound of a sparring match, and the Fox Destroyer, voiced by Dallas Reed, agrees with those sentiments, also boasting that this will prove the superiority of the top 4 mortal level universes to the Omni Kings. The 2 Destroyers also manage to persuade Arak in joining the sparring match. And yes, he hesitates for a moment, but he does agree to join. Yes, he hesitates at first, and the Supreme Kai from his universe tries to comment that their universe isn't interested in participating in such a sparring match. She, the Supreme Kai from the same universe that Arak is from, reveals that their universe is Universe 5. So we now know that Arak is Universe 5's Destroyer. So, yes, despite some initial hesitation, Arak agrees to join the sparring match. The Destroyer, who resembles the creature from the Black Lagoon, his name is revealed to be Gene. He decides not to participate in the sparring match, which is going to follow the same rules that the Tournament of Power will have. And the Supreme Kai from the same universe Gene is from notes Gene's lack of participation out loud. Gene, voiced by Reagan Murdoch, responds that he's not going to participate because he already knows the end results of the sparring match. So the sparring match between these 3 Destroyers begins, and it becomes very intense very quickly, something that the Supreme Kais that are present comment about, and eventually the arena actually suffers quite a bit of damage. It gets to the point where the Grand Minister decides to end the sparring match, and he thanks the 3 Destroyers because they helped him find some areas of the arena that need some fine-tuning before the tournament starts. The 3 Destroyers inquire if the Omni Kings were impressed by the sparring match, and when the Grand Minister checks, he tells them that the Omni Kings are actually asleep right now, and he then requests that the 3 Destroyers repair the arena before the tournament starts because the Grand Minister is going to be busy helping the participating universes' teams be teleported to the Null Realm. The next scene takes us to Universe 7, Capsule Corporation to be more specific, and we see We see Frieza commenting that he recognizes some of the characters that are present right now, with some of the characters like Vegeta not happy to see Frieza. Beerus also makes a point to warn Frieza not to try any funny business. We also see that Yamcha, Puar, and Ulan are hiding behind a wall, watching the 7th Universe team members all gather together. And Puar shows sympathy to Yamcha because Yamcha wasn't invited to join the 7th Universe team. Yamcha tries to play it cool by saying he probably would have eliminated most of the opponents shortly after the tournament begins, but we can tell that he's actually just trying to cover up the fact that he's disappointed that he wasn't invited to join the tournament. So with all the team members gathered together, Shin thinks that it's a good idea to talk about some strategies while they still have some time. And Shin suggests that the 7th Universe team all stay together and save their stamina during the beginning parts of the tournament. And he also suggests that the 7th Universe team members work together and not fight opponents one-on-one. So Shin brings up some examples by saying that he suggests that 2 members of the 7th Universe team should fight a single opponent, while 3 members of the team should fight 2 opponents, and so on and so forth. Goku responds by Goku's response is saying that he thinks that that's the coward's way, and Vegeta agrees with those sentiments, saying that Saiyans aren't known to fight with numbers on their side. But Beerus responds to these comments by saying something along the lines of, "Who cares about fairness? The fate of our universe is on the line." And Gohan and Piccolo also are talking to each other about this. Both Gohan and Piccolo agree that Goku and Vegeta both have the pure-blooded Saiyan drive to seek thrilling battles, and they actually say that they acknowledge that Goku and Vegeta are more likely to fight with instinct rather than logic, in their words. So Gohan and Piccolo both agree that they'll try to set a good example and encourage teamwork with regards to the other team members. So after the strategy talk, Whis tells Shin, Old Kai, Beerus, and the 7th Universe team that they need to hold hands in order to be teleported to the Null Realm by the Grand Minister. And Vegeta is not thrilled about the idea of holding hands with Frieza. So this leads to Beerus saying along the lines of, "Okay, I'll hold Frieza's hand so you don't have to. Now quit your whining." So after that gets sorted out, Whis tells the Grand Minister that the 7th Universe team is ready. So the Grand Minister teleports these characters from Universe 7 to the Null Realm. Bulma wishes them the best of luck in winning the tournament, and Yamcha comments that Universe 7's fate rests on the shoulders of those 10 fighters. So yes, the Universe 7 characters have now arrived at the Null Realm, and they see that Universe 1's destroyer, Iraq, and the Fox destroyer are still in the middle of making the last-minute repairs for the arena. Shortly afterwards, the participating universes' other teams, the other teams from participating universes begin to arrive. And Beerus notices that the characters from other universes weren't holding hands when they teleported, and he brings this up to Whis. Whis admits that him saying they needed to hold hands was just his way of trying to unite the 7th Universe team. Android 18 notices the edge of the arena, and she brings attention to it to her teammates. Whis also makes a point to mention that the Omni Kings have controlled the arena so that the fighters won't be able to fly using energy control. He clarifies that fighters that can fly by natural means, like having wings, for example, is still allowed after Android 17 points out 2 members from the Universe 10 team are flying. Those 2 fighters have wings. So that goes along with what Whis was saying about natural flight. Whis also makes a point to mention that the Omnikings have controlled the arena so that all the fighters will feel the gravity of their respective birth planets. This is in the name of fairness, Whis says. So, although the fighters have, although flight with energy control is restricted on the fighters, the spectators don't have that restriction. So, Shin, Old Kai, Beerus, and Whis fly to the spectator seats, and Shin wishes the 7th Universe team the best of luck with winning the tournament. Shortly afterwards, Frost approaches the Universe 7 team, and Frieza is surprised to see another member of his species. Goku notices Hit is not too far away, so he greets Hit. And Cabba notices Vegeta and goes over to greet him. Caulifla and Kale follow Cabba so that they can meet the Universe 7 Saiyans. Goku also exchanges pleasantries with Cabba, and he offers a handshake to Caulifla, but Caulifla swats Goku's hand away, with Cabba commenting about how rude that is, and Caulifla insists that she's not here to make friends, she's here to participate in this tournament to find out who the strongest of multiple universes is. Goku responds by saying that Caulifla's desire to see who the strongest among multiple universes is a desire that he, Goku, shares in common with her. And then Goku notices Kale, and Cabba properly introduces Goku and Kale to continue the introductions between the Saiyans of different universes. While that's going on, Krillin admits that he's concerned to Master Roshi. Yes, he admits to Master Roshi that he's concerned about if Master Roshi will be able to fight against female fighters. And Roshi assures Krillin and Tien, who's also standing with them, that he overcame his notable weakness shortly before the tournament started. And we also see Sidra and Ro are in the spectator seats. Sidra is frustrated seeing the Universe 7 team, but Ro assures Sidra that they should let the Universe 9 team take care of the Universe 7 characters. We then see that Frieza and Frost have gone off to a different part of the arena so that they can talk in private. They comment about how they do share quite a bit in common with each other, and they agree to form a secret alliance with each other. We then hear the voice of the Universe 11 Angel Assistant when she contacts the Grand Minister to tell him that the Universe 11 team is ready. So the Grand Minister teleports the Universe 11 characters to the Null Realm. Goku, Vegeta, and Cabba immediately notice the energy signatures of the Pride Troopers, the Universe 11 team, and Caulifla mocks the Universe 7 Saiyans by saying that the Universe 11 team are, in her words, the real deal, and this angers Vegeta. Yes, Caulifla says that the Pride Troopers are the real deal, in her words, and this angers Vegeta. So, Goku actually decides he's going to go greet the Universe 11 team, Top in particular, and when he does go up to see he says that he's looking forward to a rematch with Top, and Top responds that he isn't interested in any personal conflicts. He's here for the sake of Universe 11's existence. Goku points out that chances are that Goku and Top will be likely to fight each other eventually during the tournament, and Top's response is along the lines about how they'll cross that bridge when they get to it. Goku then notices Jiren, and he tries to talk to Jiren, but Jiren, voiced by Patrick Seitz, suddenly appears behind Goku, and he essentially tells Goku to scram. Universe 1's destroyer, Arak, and the Fox Destroyer notice that all of the participating universes' teams have arrived, so they decide to speed up the repair process. And so, yes, they're sending the pieces to their necessary spots much more quickly. So Goku makes a point to dodge the incoming pieces, but he notices that Jiren didn't dodge, and he's impressed that Jiren had already anticipated where the pieces were going to land. Goku comments that Jiren looks like he will be a worthy opponent, or he says something along those lines anyway. So with the arena fully fixed up, the 7th Universe team are looking over their opponents, and the Grand Minister is also announcing all of the participating universes' teams. Goku notices that one of the members of the Universe 2 team is a Yardratian, the species that taught Goku instant transmission. Most of the Universe 3 team members are Mod Warriors. Gohan notices that Gohan only sees 8 fighters for the Universe 4 team, but Tien comments that he can sense faint presences besides those 8 fighters. So this indicates that the 2 other Universe 4 team members are somehow hiding from the sight of others. Next up, we see the Universe 6 team. 5 of the members are the characters that participated in the Tournament of Destroyers. 2 other members are the female Saiyans, Caulifla and Kale. And then we see that there's a humanoid boar with them, so we don't get to see the 2 other members of the Universe 6 team just yet. And then we see the Universe 9 team. The Trio of Danger are 3 of the members, and most of the other members of the team are humanoid animals. One of the fighters, though, looks like a sapient tree. That's the best way I can think to describe that particular fighter. And like it was mentioned before, the Universe 10 team has 2 fighters that can fly naturally because they have wings. The Universe 10 team is the only team that has natural flyers on their team. And then, of course, the Universe 11 team consists entirely of the Pride Troopers. So after the teams are introduced, the Grand Minister says that the Omni Kings have a few words to say. And the Omni Kings' words are essentially thanking everyone for coming and hoping that the tournament will be exciting. And that is how we end this episode. So there you go. This was the first episode for the Tournament of Power sub-saga for the Universe Survival Saga. Although the tournament itself hasn't started just yet, that won't be until the next episode. But you could say that this episode is a calm before the storm sort of episode. So, so we did get a few previews of what we can expect with the tournament. But another detail I liked about this episode was we actually got to receive some insight or a better understanding of some of the divine beings from the top 4 mortal level universes. Because, yes, the top 4 mortal level universes won't be participating in the universe, in the Tournament of Power, yes. The top 4 mortal level universes won't be participating in the Tournament of Power, so we won't really get to see too much of those particular universes. So that's why I did appreciate that we did get to see a little bit of the interactions, the dialogue, and the personalities of some of the divine beings from the top 4 mortal level universes, because we're not going to receive much attention on those characters, so I do appreciate what little insight we do receive. Now, I know some fans have speculated, there are some fans that are hopeful that maybe some point in the franchise's future we will get to see the top 4 mortal level universes, or see more characters from those universes in greater detail in the future. And I do agree with those hopes. I'm also hopeful that we will get to receive a better understanding of the top 4 mortal level universes in the future, since they're not really the focus for this saga. But I suppose all we can do for now is just be patient and see how the franchise's future plays out in the future, naturally. But yes, so besides that, like I said, going back to the detail about this being a prelude or a calm before the storm with regards to the Tournament of Power, we do get to see a little bit of some of the fighters from the other universes, and so we do get to see a little bit of some of the opponents that the 7th Universe team will be up against. And we do get to see some characters from different universes meeting each other and talking to each other for the first time before the tournament starts. Yes, like we do get to see the Saiyans from Universe 6 and Universe 7 interacting with each other, besides Kappa, who already met the Universe 7 Saiyans during the Tournament of Destroyers. And Caulifla and Goku's interactions brought up something that one of my relatives, who's also watching the series, noticed a few episodes ago. Yes, a few episodes ago, when one of my relatives was seeing Caulifla, or having a better understanding of Caulifla, getting to know Caulifla better, one of my relatives had commented that they felt like Caulifla was like a female Goku. That's how one of my relatives described Caulifla when they saw her a few episodes ago. And they noticed how in this episode, Goku commented that he and Caulifla shared a similar desire with regards to fighting strong opponents from multiple universes. So yeah, that same relative of mine definitely thought that was interesting, that the episode itself brought up the similarities between Goku and Caulifla. And I suppose I should mention there are other fans who share those sentiments. Yes, there are other fans I've noticed who have referred to Caulifla as female Goku, or they said that Caulifla reminds them of Goku, or saying like they could picture Caulifla being what Goku might be like if he was female. Now, of course, Goku and Caulifla do have their differences, but I do think that the sentiments, that there are some notable similarities between them. I do think that there are merits to those sentiments. I do think, yes, I think there is merit to the sentiments that Goku and Caulifla feel like foils for one another. And yes, you can be assured that during the tournament, we will get to see more of Goku's interactions with Caulifla. So I think those parallels or similarities and differences will be made more clear over the course of the Tournament of Power itself. And speaking of other interactions, yes, we do get to see Frieza and Frost interacting with each other, and how they're forming a secret alliance with each other because they do share some things in common with each other. And yes, Frieza and Frost do have their differences too. Frieza is more upfront about his evil nature, while Frost pretended he was good for the longest time, but was really being sneaky when it came to being evil. But yes, there are definitely some similarities between them too. And yes, this secret alliance does help to highlight the similarities and differences between Frieza and Frost, and how this does help to add some tension for the Tournament of Power. And while I'm on the topic of Frieza and Frost, yes, I was a little bummed out that we still don't have a definite answer on the name of Frieza's species. Yes, we still don't have an official name for Frieza's species. I mean, there are some fans that came up with fan terms for the species, and some of the video games have come up with like some nicknames for the species, but so far, as of the recording of this video, an official name for Frieza's species hasn't been given yet. I would imagine that the name would probably fit the cold temperature theme naming that the members of the species have, but yes, I'm hoping that at some point in the franchise's future, I'm hoping that we will eventually receive an official name for Frieza's species. And still on the topic of Frieza and Frost interacting with each other, I have mentioned before that Frost's voice artist in the Funimation dub is Greg Ayers, the younger brother of Chris Ayers, who became Frieza's voice artist in the Funimation dub, starting with Dragon Ball Z Kai. Now, I also did mention in the recap and thoughts video for a few episodes ago, around the time when Frieza came back, that according to the credits, Chris Ayers isn't playing Frieza during these dialogue segments, or these dialogue scenes in these episodes for the Universe Survival Saga. Yes. For Frieza's dialogue in the Universe Survival Saga for the Funimation dub so far, Frieza is being voiced by Damon Mills, Chris Ayers' understudy for Frieza. And this is because Chris Ayers has some health complications right now. And yes, it is unfortunate that those health complications happened because I know that some fans were looking forward to hearing the Ayers brothers talking to each other as their respective characters, Frieza and Frost. But of course, it's completely understandable why things didn't work out that way because of those health complications. And I do understand that, yes, Chris Ayers does need to recover for the sake of his health. He needs rest for the sake of recovering his health. So, yes, while it is unfortunate that the Ayers brothers couldn't talk to each other in character, it is completely understandable. And I know that many fans, myself included, are keeping our fingers crossed with regards to Chris Ayers making a full recovery with regards to his health complications. So besides yes, I guess we should talk about some of the previews with regards to some of the other universes teams. One thing that stood out to me one of the details that really stood out to me was how one of the members of the Universe 2 team is a Yardratian. And that was something I immediately noticed because in previous episodes and previous sagas, I remember seeing most fans were under the impression that only the twin universes were universes that shared certain details in common with each other, such as the species within their universes, like how Universe 6 and Universe 7 have some species share certain species in common with each other, such as the Saiyans and Frieza's species. Now, yes, this stands out because Universe 2 is not a twin universe with Universe 6 or Universe 7. Universe 11 is Universe 2's twin universe. So seeing a Yardratian on the Universe 2 team this gave me the impression that non-twin universes can still share certain details in common with each other, such as certain species that inhabit the universes. My interpretation is that this just means that the non-twin universes' similarities are just more rare or less prevalent compared to similarities between twin universes. That's the way I interpreted seeing a Yardratian in a universe that wasn't a twin universe with Universe 7. That's my interpretation. But yes, I do think it's a small detail, but I do think that's a nice detail to know that universes that aren't twin universes can still share certain similarities in common, even if they're not as pronounced as twin universe similarities. So I did appreciate that detail. And the other detail is with the Universe 4 team. The characters and us, the viewers, only saw 8 fighters from the Universe 4 team, but Tien did comment that he could faintly sense other presences, even though none of the characters, and us for that matter, us the viewers, couldn't see these other 2 fighters. So you could say that the Universe 4 team has secret fighters, you could call them. And that does help to add some mystery, at least for the dub-only viewers. The viewers who read ahead, or they read up on what's going to happen, or they watch the sub, so they already know what's going to happen. They know the detail with the secret fighters from the Universe 4 team. But for the dub-only viewers, it will be interesting to see how they react to the secret fighters once their presence eventually becomes known during the tournament. And I did think that was a pretty interesting detail, how the Universe 10 team had actually acquired 2 fighters that can fly naturally, so that's their loophole around the restriction on energy-controlled flight. Otherwise, I guess the other detail is, yes, with regards to the destroyers from the non-participating universes that fought, or 3 of them, yes, the 3 destroyers that sparred with each other before the tournament starts, I did like that because it reminded me of something that was in the manga, if you prefer, version of the Universe Survival Saga. In that version of of the saga, the Zeno Expo had a battle royale between all 12 destroyers, whereas in the anime, it was 3 fighters from Universe 7 and 3 fighters from Universe 9 fighting each other one at a time. So yes, while it was unfortunate that we didn't get to see a battle royale between all 12 destroyers in the anime, I did like how the anime still gave us a battle royale between at least 3 of the destroyers. Oh, and while I'm on the topic of the destroyers fighting each other, because in the past, it was brought up that destroyers couldn't fight each other directly because destroyers fighting each other directly could cause catastrophic consequences for their respective universes. We could see that the 3 destroyers that sparred with each other in the Null Realm were able to do so without any problems. And, well, this makes sense considering the Null Realm is kind of a neutral zone that doesn't really affect the other universes. That was a small detail, but it was a cool detail about how we know that the Null Realm is one of the few places where destroyers can actually fight each other directly without fear of causing catastrophic consequences to the universes. Again, a small detail, but it does give us some nice insight on the lore of the franchise. So there you go. Otherwise, there was a bit to talk about in this Calm Before the Storm episode. So, like I said, next episode is when the Tournament of Power actually begins, and of course, we will make a point to talk about that once we cover that recap and thoughts video for that particular episode. But otherwise, there we go for now. So, as of this video, we've now discussed the Funimation dub of episode 96 of Dragon Ball Super on this channel. Take care, and until next time.